The S&P 500, since the capitulation bar on the Black Friday, we definitely get some more weakness. So that is on the Black Friday bar breakdown, and that's the Black Friday bar, the Russell, and the down also the Black Friday bar. So we all see that it's just a breakdown bar with ton of the supply and also a very bearish spread. So look at the spread is generally very big. At least we never seen it in this uptrend. But for Nasdaq, I think the Black Friday bar is not that impressive. It's just a normal bearish bar, normal pullback. However, last week we definitely get some continuation follow through to the downside. So you can see that in the S&P 500 and a lot more in the Russell, because Russell is generally very weak at this point. But you can, if I zoom out, you probably can see that it's approaching the bottom part of the range. So that's the range here, and has been falling for quite some time. And in terms of the magnitude, is definitely significant. And similarly to the Dow Jones, if I zoom out here, you can see that is very much close to the range. So the bottom part of the range is just probably another 1,000 points away, or maybe 1,005. And I think the most impressive or most stunning part is the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, finally we see a lower low here on last Wednesday. So in terms of this bar, it finally create a lower low. So this is the low, and there's another lower low, and subsequently I think Nasdaq actually leads the way down in terms of Thursday and Friday. So you can see that there are a lot of the tech stocks take a big hit, especially on Friday. So generally the stock market is still very bearish, and I do talk about we got a potential demand come in on this bar. So I point out these two bar, if you still recall. So basically what I actually refer to is this two big bearish bar, and there is an effort versus results. So in terms of the efforts behind, we certainly get increasing of the efforts or increasing of the volume, but in terms of the results is not that much, especially in terms of the progress to the downside on this bar here. So at that point, I pointed out that we probably already witnessed some demand come in. So the bull actually has a chance to rally on this day. But actually, on that day, we see some rally form, but there is a big rejection tail right there. So that is certainly a reflection of what's happening in the market. So the demand generally is overwhelmed by the supply. So Danny just said that at what phase the counter jacks and scoop is in now. Okay, sure, Danny. We'll come to the counters in the end of the session during the Q&A. Now we just carry on with the indices. Just bear with me for now. I'll definitely go through the counters. Okay, so back to the indices. Yeah, I talk about this fail rally. So there's actually an attempt to rally, or actually there's a rally. You can see it in the tail right there. And similarly, there's across the indices. So now let me just zoom in with this S&P 500. You can see it clearly. Yeah, you can see that that's the failure. So in terms of the spread is huge, although that in terms of the from close to close is probably not a lot, maybe it's still less than 2%. And subsequently, this bar here is oversold. So you can see I have drawn up the down channel. So there's a down channel right there, and this selling has reached an oversold of the channel. So subsequently, this bar right here is the rebound. It's a technical rally, like a probably can consider as a like automatic rally. And next bar is just another attempt to rally, but actually fail right there. So let me zoom in with the hourly chart, so you can see it more clearly on what actually is going on. So this bar right here, so this daily bar is actually the attempt to rally. So we definitely have an attempt to rally during the non-regular trading hours, and right after it hit this is a supply line because it's down channel. So we see that it's just fail right there. So in terms of the supply zone, so that is actually the supply zone that this day need to overcome. So it's just fail right at this supply zone. So there is a hidden uptrust right there. So uptrust, and subsequently followed by a failure back in. Whether you consider this horizontal bar, horizontal line level, or consider this down channel. So either way, they both fail. So subsequently, we see there is a very sharp reaction, and with the increasing of the supply. So and look at the last bar right there, and that last bar is actually very significant, and that's also another supply zone. So the next day, even though we get a rally, so this the rally during the US session, look at where it actually stopped. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, so take a look at this. So on this day, Thursday, this technical rally, but look at it, it just kind of uptrust right there. This is a supply zone. It failed to commit above, and next day on Friday, we have a 1 bar commitment followed by next bar failure, fail back in. So that's I think that's 10:30. Yeah. So this is where the U.S. Market open, and that's for the I think the NFP, the non-farm payroll, and attempt to rally, but still there's no commitment. So at the moment, this bar here is very important. So because this is the supply zone that the bull first need to overcome in order to get a bit more rally ahead. And if I just zoom out a bit here, you can see the whole structure. This is the distribution structure. So I talk about the uptrust, another uptrust. That's with the increasing of the supply, and subsequently we get a breakdown. So that is like the uptrust of the distribution, and that is a sign of weakness. And from a LPSY, so that is the last point of the supply, and subsequently we are officially in a downtrend. So at the moment, despite that the sentiment is bearish, price action is bearish, you get a ton of the supply, but we definitely see some stopping action right now, right here, because if you just go back to the daily chart, okay, let me get it auto. Okay, so in this daily chart, if you recall, last week I talked about the potential target. So that is targets for from the PNF chart. So the first target is somewhere around 45.50. So it's just right at this zone. And I also draw up, this is the axis area or the axis line. So this area is definitely the support area. So we can safely say that the first target or the first downside target has been reached. So it's already there. And we just need to monitor whether there will be a rebound situation from here on. So I think if there is a rebound, I think right now it's definitely in an oversold condition. It's quite normal to see a rebound or technical rally from here on, because this is naturally a support area for the bull to perform, to rebound. And we just witnessed that it's very deeply oversold, and especially in terms of the market breadth, is definitely oversold. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a rebound. And most importantly, we definitely see some form of the stopping action on this bar, and this bar. So these 3 bars from Wednesday to Friday, there's a stopping action with a lot of the volume. So why did I say it's a stopping action? So first of all, we definitely see some shortening of the trust. And subsequently, right after this Wednesday bar, there is a rally. And then Friday, there's a attempt to break down, but we got some buyers come in to buy back up. And if we just go to maybe weekly, so to get a perspective, so you can see that in this weekly chart, so there is definitely effort versus results. Take a look at the last two bars. So look at this and look at this. So surely, in terms of the volume or effort behind, there is increasing of the efforts. But in terms of the results, I don't really see a lot of the downward results. And especially if you compare the progress to the downside, certainly is just a little bit. So definitely there is a shortening of the downward thrust. So next week or start from tomorrow, we probably can see a bit of the rebound. So if there is indeed a rebound happen, what we can expect is probably a natural resistance area right at this zone here. So 4620 or here 4650. So this area, so 4620 to 4650 is the natural resistance ahead. So if the market is mercy, then we might just see there's a rebound, there's a technical rally. And I think at this point you definitely hear two cams. So one is a very bearish cam and the other is just a bullish cam. Whenever there's a dip, you just need to buy and come in, because buy on dip is never wrong. So these are the bulls slogan. So we just need to see whether it will actually get there if there is a rebound. So bear in mind that we are already deeply oversold, and there's a effort versus results suggesting that there's a presence of demand right at this support area. So all this pointed to a very short-term bullish picture. I mean, very, very short term. So this is like oversold, technical rally, and I think we definitely can expect some more weakness ahead. So we just need to see how we actually interact at this resistance area. Okay, so that's S&P 500. And if we take a look at the Dow, we definitely see that. Let me first zoom in. Okay, so the Dow is actually just hitting the support. So if you look at it as a upsloping range, right? So this is an upsloping range, We got an uptrust. There could be uptrust after distribution or just uptrust. We don't really know yet. But one thing we know for sure is that there is increasing of the supply, and this is a potential sign of weakness. And that certainly is the largest down wave that we have ever seen. Okay, so this is quite important, and we need to pay attention to that, because from here on, whether it will turn into a sign of weakness, become a distribution, we still need to wait for more clues and more candles to develop before we can derive a conclusion. Okay, but at the moment, we definitely see Dow actually found a support, whether it's a upsloping trading range or whether it's this previous accumulation range. It certainly is right at the support area. So we definitely see some form of the support, and I think because it's even deeply oversold, and because Dow and the Russell 2000 are the two weakest link or two weakest indexes at this moment. So this is again like the oversold condition. We can expect some form of the rebound, and if this really happen, then this zone here is the important key resistance. So previously is like the support, so broken down, and now it's broken down again. So it becomes a resistance area. So we need to pay attention to this area. So indeed, if there is any rebound into this area, we need to pay attention on how we actually interact, whether there is a strong rejection tail or maybe some form of the bearish big spread, bearish bar with the increasing of the supply, things like that. So don't be too happy or optimistic if you see a very strong rebound coming in next week, because it's just a normal situation like a technical rebound. And yeah, so let me quickly go to Nasdaq. And for Nasdaq, I think this is a key point here. So we got an uptrust similar to S&P uptrust, but on a Black Friday we did not get a breakdown. So this is a Black Friday bar. But subsequently, on Wednesday and on Friday, we see that the situation is getting more bearish for Nasdaq, and there's a lot of the tech stocks get sell down, so not a good signs. So if Nasdaq definitely turn into a leader in terms of on the way down, selling on the way down, if it becomes a leader, then I think it would definitely trigger a lot more selling, because right now even Nasdaq is not really that strong if you look into the market breadth, because mainly it's just supported by the semiconductor stocks and probably Apple as well. So a lot others tech stocks already take a hit and also have a sharp correction. So that's Nasdaq. Lastly, Russell is probably the weakest index, but certainly we need to pay attention to the support area right there. So because it's approaching a support, which I think is likely to get tested, but depending on the week ahead, maybe we'll have a rally first, because this is indeed oversold condition. We need to see a technical rally before another leg down. So that's my view for the index.